Adanna ran through the dark forest, heart thudding like the village drum. Obinna, alive. But not the Obinna she had loved. No. This one was filled with darkness, his eyes burning with something unclean, something ancient. She could still hear his voice behind her, smooth and soft like a snake in tall grass, whispering of gold, of thrones, of sacrifice. Her feet found the forest path by instinct, and the village lights soon flickered in the distance. She stumbled into her father's hut, gasping, chest heaving, and fell to her knees before the old wooden chest hidden beneath the sleeping mat. Her fingers scrabbled desperately until they closed around the old scroll, the sacred parchment sealed with cowrie shells and palm oil, passed down through the chiefs for generations. She unrolled it beneath the light of the burning lamp. The old symbols, worn but legible, whispered to her. The curse of the tree could only be broken with the blood of the planter, the one who sowed the seed, who gave the first life to the cursed soil. Only then would the spirits be silenced, their hunger sated. Obinna's blood was the key. But he was no longer the boy she knew. He was filled with the spirit of Ezema the thirster, the demon lord of greed and hunger. No blow of blade or spear would harm him. Only the sacred thorn, plucked from the very heart of the tree itself, driven into his flesh while the ancient words were spoken, could sever the bond. It would be dangerous. Nearly impossible. But she had to try. She stood, trembling but resolute. The village had to be warned. The next morning, she gathered the elders in secret beneath the great fig tree. Pa Odu came, leaning heavily on his staff, eyes clouded but mind sharp as ever. Mema Ijeoma came, her face hard as carved stone, her fingers clutching her prayer beads. Even Chief Nwoke, her father, stood silently beside them, his mouth tight. Adanna spoke quickly, urgently, breathless with the weight of what she had learned. She told them of the shrine, of the cursed spirit, of Obinna's betrayal, of the plan to sacrifice 10 souls at the new moon to feed the tree's hunger and unleash its final evil. The elders muttered, crossed themselves, spat on the earth. It is worse than we feared, Pa Odu croaked. He is no longer a man. He is Ezema's puppet. The tree will not stop until the village is swallowed whole. We must act. We will burn the tree, said Mema Ijeoma fiercely. No. Adanna cried. Flame will not kill it. Only the blood of Obinna himself. Only the sacred thorn. Her father frowned deeply. And how will you strike him down, child? He is stronger than 10 men, filled with dark power. His spirit is not his own. I will strike him, Adanna said, her voice steady. I will make him bleed. A terrible silence fell. Pa Odu sighed, old and weary. So be it. The gods have chosen you. The plan was set. On the night of the new moon festival, when Obinna would reveal his treachery, they would act. But the days that followed were filled with dread. The villagers moved like ghosts, fearful of the tree that loomed in the square, thick with money that no one dared touch. The thorns gleamed in the sunlight. At night they seemed to whisper, creaking and sighing like hungry mouths. Then came the day of the festival. The drums began at dawn, slow, heavy beats that shook the air. Fires were lit. The people dressed in bright cloth and fine beads, their faces pale with fear. They gathered in the square beneath the shadow of the tree. The money hung thick upon its branches, waving gently like the banners of a silent army. And then Obinna came. He was glorious. Tall, masked in gold, robed in shimmering cloth that seemed to ripple like water. His eyes burned behind the mask, blue and cold. In one hand he carried a staff carved with runes that pulsed with faint light. His voice rang out over the square, smooth and sweet. People of Umuofia, he said, spreading his arms. Rejoice. Your suffering ends tonight. The tree shall give its final gift. Gold beyond measure, riches for all. But first, the offering. The guards stepped forward. Men of the village, but no longer themselves. Their faces were blank, their eyes empty. Ezema's slaves. They began to seize the chosen ones, the 10 sacrifices. Old men, young women, crying children. Their families screamed, pleaded, fell to their knees. Adanna stepped forward, clutching the sacred thorn wrapped in cloth, the scroll hidden in her sash. Obinna, she cried, her voice ringing like steel. The square fell silent. He turned, the mask gleaming. "My queen," he said softly. "At last, you come to me. I come to end this madness." His laugh was low, mocking. "You cannot stop me, Adanna. The tree obeys me. Even now it grows fat with power. Soon I will command gold itself. And you will stand at my side as the queen of Umuofia." "Never," she said. "You have forgotten who you are. You are my father's son. And you will fall." His smile vanished. "You dare speak against me?" She drew the scroll, held it high. The old words burned upon the parchment. "The gods have given me the weapon. Your blood will break the curse, Obinna." For the first time, he hesitated. But the spirit within him snarled, twisting his face with rage. He raised his staff. "Foolish girl. I will feed the tree your soul first. Then the others. Then the world." He charged. Adanna moved fast as the wind, darting between the roots, leaping over the creeping thorns that burst from the earth. The tree shuddered, moaning, its branches reaching hungrily. Obinna's staff struck the ground where she had stood, splintering stone, spraying dust. She rolled, gasping, clutching the sacred thorn. The words of the cursebreaker spell burned in her mouth, ready. He lunged again, faster than a man, stronger than a beast. But Adanna leapt, twisting, and drove the thorn deep into his side. The earth shook. Obinna screamed, a terrible, shrieking sound that filled the sky. The tree howled with him, its thorns whipping wildly, its branches thrashing. Adanna shouted the words, the ancient cursebreaker chant. Her voice rose above the storm of sound. The staff fell from Obinna's hand. His mask cracked and fell, revealing his face, twisted, broken, full of horror and pain. "Adanna, please, save me," he gasped. But the spirit of Ezema was not yet done. The roots of the tree surged upward, wrapping around Obinna's legs, pulling him toward the trunk. He screamed, clawing at the earth, weeping. "No. I gave you life. I fed you. I am your master." But the tree cared nothing. It drank his life, his power, his soul. The branches curled downward, folding around him like cruel arms. His body vanished into the wood. The tree shook, groaned, and cracked. A great sound split the air. Its trunk split wide. Black sap poured out, hissing like steam. The bundles of Naira caught fire, burning, curling into ash, blown away by the rising wind. The people watched, wide-eyed, silent, as the cursed tree withered and fell. Then, silence. The curse was broken. Adanna sank to her knees, exhausted, weeping. The villagers slowly gathered around her. Pa Odu came, touching her shoulder with trembling fingers. "You have saved us, child," he whispered. The people cheered. Mothers wept. Fathers bowed their heads in prayer. Children danced. The shadow lifted from Umuofia. But deep in the earth, beneath the roots, a single thorn remained, small, faintly glowing, pulsing gently in the dark. And far away, in the forgotten shrine, something old and hungry stirred in its sleep. For greed never dies. And neither does the curse of the money tree.